So the damage is done. No easy fix, it would seem, short of shelling out the 10 grand. But how did this even happen to begin with? Now, Graham Williams is joining us right now, tech expert with Pure Image. We've had him on the show a number of times. When I heard this story, my first question was actually, how did whoever bought the domain name actually know that the domain name was expiring, that it would be up for grabs? I mean, is there actually a resource people are tapping into to find these things out?
Well, this is information that's actually freely available. You can do a who is search on any domain, and it will generally tell you who the domain is registered to, when they originally registered it, and when it's going to expire. You can actually script that, so you can have a computer tell you, here are the following domains in this range that are going to expire in the next 30 days. They obviously did that and jumped on it as soon as it was available.
So they just have a giant list that they can work from, and then maybe they would notice, oh, hey, this is a Chamber of Commerce, maybe they have 10 grand to shell out. Is this essentially, I mean, would you call it blackmail? I mean, what is it?
It definitely feels like blackmail to me. I mean, this is the type of thing where you essentially are playing the lottery if you're one of the people doing this, where you're looking for sites that are expiring. A lot of people out there, if they lose their domain, it's not that much of a big deal for them. With something like the Chamber of Commerce, it clearly is. You do a quick check into it, see how many pages are on the site, how much traffic it gets, what type of site it is. At that point, you realize you've got a mark. You can probably see if you can reach out to them and get some money.
Is it a pretty common thing to have happen?
I wouldn't say it's terribly common. There are a lot of things in place to prevent this. We used to see domain squatting happen right from the beginning,
right.
You know, where people would get a domain name before a trademarked name would get it. And there was a lot of consternation about that when it was happening. Nowadays, though, you get an email 60 days in advance of it expiring, 30 days in advance of it expiring. Then you've got a 30-day grace period from the day that it expires to when it actually becomes available again. So there's a lot of time to help prevent things like this.
Would they be able to get their domain back so that it doesn't have that on the main page? I mean, is that an easy thing to go through court and try to get that done?
Well, the ICANN registry, the registry that's responsible for this, does have an arbitration process. The process isn't a short period of time, and it probably is not going to be inexpensive for them to do it. So at this point, that $10,000 is probably one of the least expensive and most time-efficient ways of getting their domain back. So the best thing to do is make sure that you have a valid email address attached to your domain, and make sure that you're checking that email, and make sure you have a valid credit card on file with your registrar.
And so bottom line for the Chamber of Commerce, I suppose, as you say, pay the money. That might be the easiest way.
Pay the money, and going forward in the future, maybe hire somebody to take care of this.
Right, so it doesn't happen again. Graham Williams, always good to talk to you.
My pleasure.